What's up, guys? Today we have a really delicious appetizer recipe for you. We're gonna be doing crispy Brussels sprouts in the oven with two, yes, I said two different dips. So we're gonna do a whipped ricotta pesto dip, which is delicious, and then we're gonna do a curry dipping sauce, which is just as delicious. So you got all the taste, all the texture for all your friends and family with this appetizer. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have our Brussels sprouts. So I just have a big bag here. We're gonna do about 2 cups. And then as I have them, I'm just gonna toss them into a bowl since we will be coating them in some avocado oil so they really crisp up in the oven. Okay, now that we have all our Brussels sprouts halved and the ends are cut off, we are gonna get them tossed in some seasonings and some avocado oil, which is what we're going to be using right here. So the reason we're using like avocado or a coconut oil here is because we're going to be cooking these Brussels sprouts at a really high temperature, and anything like olive oil will burn. So that's where this oil comes in handy. And either avocado oil or coconut oil will work. So we're going to do about 1/4 cup, that's 4 tablespoons. And then we're gonna do about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, as much as you like, really. We're gonna do some garlic powder. Whoa, big holes. And then we're gonna do some cayenne for a little bit of a kick. If you don't like spicy, just leave it out. Now, all that's left to do is toss these. Make sure they're all well coated, so everything gets super crispy. So now we are going to be taking our parchment paper lined baking sheet. We also have the oven preheated to 400 degrees, which is what these are gonna go in at. So we're just gonna you wanna make an even layer. You don't want any of them to be overlapping so that they all get nice and crispy. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven at 400 for about 30 to 35 minutes. You can check on it. Oven temps always vary. Don't forget that. All right, so while the Brussels sprouts are in the oven getting crispy, we're gonna make the 2 dips because then we can just refrigerate them and serve them when we're ready to serve everything. We're first gonna start with the whipped ricotta and pesto dip. And to make it easier, we like to find a good store-bought brand. And when you're looking for it, you just wanna make sure it uses olive oil instead of like a sunflower oil or a canola oil. So this is a basil pesto and it's made with almonds. You can look for the pine nuts, cashews, whatever flavor you're going for. And the dips we're gonna be making, we're making a larger portion than you would probably need for the amount of Brussels sprouts, but you can store this in the fridge for up to a week and it will be really good served with any other foods you make throughout the week. So we're gonna start with 8 ounces of ricotta. I love ricotta cheese. And then to the ricotta, we're gonna add 4 ounces of cream cheese. I'm gonna put it in dollops so it's easier to mix. Ideally, it would be room temperature. So before we add the rest of the ingredients, let's get this nice whipped, fluffy, creamy. All right, perfect. We're looking for a nice smooth texture. That's what we've got here. So now we're gonna add in some lemon juice and some lemon zest. So let's first get the lemon zest in before we cut it. I didn't realize how important a zester is in the kitchen. Like, look at that. It's so easy. It's so much better than a grater. And then we're gonna do the juice of 1/2 lemon. Watch out for the seeds. And now we're gonna do some salt, some garlic, and some red pepper flakes. I love red pepper flakes. They're not too spicy, but they add a nice little kick. Not too heavy on the salt. There's probably a lot in the ricotta cheese already. Some red pepper flakes, and just a tad bit of garlic. Now let's whip this up one more time. Okay, so we're gonna serve this up and then we're gonna like beautifully swirl the basil pesto and that'll be nice for presentation. And then you could do as much basil pesto as you want. I think I'm gonna go pretty heavy. I'm gonna go like 2 tablespoons. That'll up the fat and add a lot of flavor. We'll just put it in the center. And then you can like even use a toothpick to swirl it throughout. How good does that look? And then to top this dip, totally optional, but I would highly recommend it. Ideally, we would have pine nuts because I think that would be really great with texture, with taste. But since there is almonds already in the basil pesto, we'll just do some slivered almonds on top. And then you could also do sunflower seeds. That's an option. Really any crushed nut. So this one's good to go. We're gonna pop this in the fridge and it'll be ready for the Brussels sprouts. And for the second dip, we're gonna be doing a curry dipping sauce. This is super easy. We're gonna start with 1/3 cup of mayo. Ideally, you would look for some without soybean oil, but also just do your best. Then we are going to do 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. We're gonna do half a lime. This one's not very juicy. Then we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of curry powder, and you can up that amount or lower that amount depending on curry preference. You could mince up some cilantro, but I like the big chunks. So we're just gonna go with a nice handful, whatever you want, of fresh cilantro. That'll give it a really nice fresh flavor. And cilantro is heavily used in all of Indian cooking. And then optionally, you can add some sort of hot sauce that you have at home. This is what we have on hand. Just add in a little bit. And we're gonna whisk it up. Grab our serving bowl. And then I like to do a little garnish of cilantro always. And that is dip number 2. How easy. So we're gonna pop this one in the fridge as well. And then once the Brussels sprouts are out of the oven, we'll let them cool just a little and then we'll give everything a try. All right, guys, we're back. The Brussels sprouts are out of the oven and we might have gone a tad bit too long. I would say dial back the time a lot, maybe like 25 minutes as opposed to 35. Definitely keep an eye on them. I am gonna do a little drizzle of toasted sesame oil. This is gonna add a lot of nice flavor and it won't be so much that these will still stay crispy. And then we got our 2 beautiful sauces. I'm so excited to try them. Let's go for the curry. Who knew? Brussels sprouts are the perfect dipping chip. They're tender, but they're also crispy, and then the curry is just strong and delicious. Let's go for this whipped ricotta. Well, that's just like a back and forth, perfect night for me. Like if Matt were to be out one night, I would just make this and just go to town. This is so delicious. This is a perfect appetizer if you're having summer parties, if you're having winter parties. I think you guys know I'm biased. I'm going to curry. I just love it. The flavor is just so strong and intense. The basil pesto is really subtle and nice too. So whatever you like, I would make them both. I would serve them. I'd make a lot more Brussels sprouts and let us know what you think. Linked below is the recipe on how to make the crispy Brussels sprouts and the 2 dips, and have fun with it. Make other dips. Make like 7 dips, have a dipping party, serve some other roasted vegetables, and you'll have a great night. Thanks for joining us. See you soon.